minds. Things are so happy and simple for them. But when it comes to the fate of adults, there's no room for redos. And go, Kislana, as you promised. Deceive the world, seize the core flames, and rewrite your fate. Burn yourself up with all your might, wield your futility like a sword, and fight against the gods. In the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Kefali will never forget this. So, time retreated behind me until it reached the origin, where nothing ever existed. Just as Professor Anaxa once said, in that void, Kefali stood at the center of chaos. Time, space, and causality all flowed from their body. When the waves of time finally calmed, it was the year 3870 of the light calendar. The Chrysos War had lasted for nearly a century, and the threat of the Black Tide was growing stronger and more relentless. That was the era of the Day Thunder Knight's battle with the sky. While she could not seize the core flame, she proved that the prophecy was true. That mortals could slay gods. From that moment, the sole survivor of the old dynasty, Imperator Saritra, issued a call to arms across the lands, summoning heroic Chrysos heirs to wage war on the Titans. And that was the first doomed flame chase journey, sealed away in history.
So what you're saying is, you've traveled back down the River of Time, finally reaching this untouched seabed just to tell us the flame chase journey and even all of Amphorius are nothing but illusions in an eon's dreams?
Exactly. So, Dux Gladiorum, please take me to meet Her Majesty Saritra. I must share the truth with her.
Since Her Majesty's not here, no need for formalities. The word Gladiorum always reminds me of my fallen homeland buried deep in the depths. Call me High Sealans, Nameless Swordmaster.
Please allow me to add one more thing. You actually already know my name.
You mean Finan? Such a name could never be your true one. But I won't question you further about it. Ever since Her Majesty issued the Flame Chase Decree, heroes from all over have sent their letters of introduction. What's the harm in adding one more name like Finan or Pinan? Besides, the deep sea is dark. Isn't it the perfect place to hide secrets best left unseen? All right, Nameless Swordmaster. Hold on to my wake. Let's find somewhere else to talk.
Aren't you even a little suspicious of what I've said?
Harboring suspicions is not my concern. My sword dances only when the Imperator harbors doubts. There's no use in speaking further. Show me your true intentions through action. Perhaps you should demonstrate your skills and calm the raging black tide for us.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
Oh. Nice moves. We just washed it away, and here it comes again. The Black Tide is really no joke.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
The waters end here. The one you seek is beyond this point.
At last, I can meet with Her Majesty Saridra herself. Are there any formalities I need to observe?
Don't kneel, don't do the hand-kissing or foot-kissing gestures of the old dynasty, and most of all, don't bow. The Imperator despises such rituals, especially when the heads of those taller than her bend beneath her crown.
She really is down to earth.
The second thing to note, only trusted ones may come near her. Keep 5 paces distance until the Imperator allows otherwise.
Sounds like an old friend of mine.
Well, experience is a good thing. Stay sharp, and you'll be just fine. Dux Goldweaver, little hostage. Apologies for keeping you waiting.
It's you.
You know them? Good. That makes things easier.
Before that, I'm more curious about one thing. Where is Her Majesty Saridra?
To avoid any misunderstandings, nameless swordmaster. Although we spoke and laughed along the way, I never said you were entitled to meet her. The Imperator decreed, the Deliverer will not appear in this age. Be wary of suspicious individuals. Come now, both of you. Let's finish our job.
I see. It's a trap. I had no intention of fighting. So remember this, Lady Hysealans. If my sword shows any hesitation, don't thank me. Thank them instead.
No, you misunderstand. We don't want to see Chrysoceres hurt each other. Just give us some time to ask you a few questions.
The Nestia's golden threads will judge you and decide your fate.
As you wish.
White-haired swordmaster? If what you say is true, then you must know the fate of the world. So, How much do you know about what we read from the prophecy?
You shall shatter into 1,000 fragments and wither in the soil of foreign lands. Is that correct, Lady Treby?
How is this possible?
He got it right?
Yes, but the prophecy never mentioned he'd appear here. At least, not in this era.
You must listen to me, Aglaya, Treby. The Finan of this world has not yet been born. In a distant future, he will follow the prophecy's guidance and appear before you. But do not seek him out, because Era Nova is a complete and utter lie. I will tell you the truth, and you will understand why the world must forsake the prophecy and find another path to Era Nova. Because I know both of you, and I believe that no matter how the course of history may change, the faith we all share will always remain the same. And so, the layers of rock began to reverse, and history wove itself anew. Through my old acquaintances, I was given the chance to meet the leader of the Flame Chase journey, Suritra. And after a long and arduous negotiation, we came to an agreement. The Imperator's alliance needed the destruction, and I was ready to pour all my strength into it. The spoils of the Flame Chase, the core flames, would be sealed by my hand. But the condition was this. In the upcoming battle, in our conquest of the Earth, I had to prove that my power could transcend fate. In the original history, there was a brutal war. At the end, the Titankin of Georios, Terravox, killed the rampaging Titan and took the core flame that supported the Earth. But this time, Amphorius encountered a turning point in its fate. Neither side suffered any losses. When I severed the Titan's head and raised the core flame high, the crowd gathered around the scorched remains of the god, roaring with joy, cheering for the hero of the destruction, who had ignited the faint spark of life for the first time. Yes, in that flickering light, the once dark path ahead seemed to become clear. I proved myself, and in the long years that followed, I brought down the other Titans, one by one. I could do more than just wait. When time resets, the chance to change the world also emerges from the lines of history. Until finally, the brutal future revealed by Era Nova is reversed. But tell me, if that's truly the case, why are we doomed to the same outcome? The people kept their promise and handed you all the core flames. In this world after Trebios, no demigods were born in Amphorius. At this point, I just want to know. When they vanished into the black tide with their mortal bodies, why didn't you shed even a single tear? Your difference chills me. To you, were they just a bunch of insignificant footnotes? Sorrow has been my constant companion. In fact, with 12 core flames upon me, the fire in my heart has never been more violent. I'll remember this world through anger. As long as I burn, they'll never truly leave me. Perhaps it's already too late. But you're right. Anger, at this moment, is the only weapon I can rely on. So, draw your sword, Executioner. I'll make sure you realize that your greatest mistake was leaving me alive. After that, he raised his sword and attacked. Then, Kaslana killed himself. That day, who fell to the sword to be left in the past, and who went into the future, I can't remember anymore. I only remember a nymph, hiding in the shadows just out of sight, futilely pushing a stone ball. Climb, fall, climb, fall, climb again, and fall. The only freedom the nymph had was in choosing how to roll the stone. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Sometimes resting on a gentler slope, leaning against the stone for a break. But its choice couldn't change the futility of it all. The stone would always roll back down the slope, and the nymph would always return to the starting point, beginning again. After that, every time I reached this point in the cycle, the burning sky would cast a shadow over its path. It would nearly reach the peak at the 4th quint of curtain fall hour, then fall to the starting point in the first 15 seconds of the next entry hour. And my efforts in this cycle would dissolve into nothing at the same time.
Absolute nonsense.
I thought cycles was the answer you were looking for.
No. It's just that the answer came so suddenly. There was no fun in tracing it back to its roots. Eons? Paths? What a load of nonsense.
I can't give you an exact explanation of those two concepts either.
Enough. I'm just expressing my frustration. Don't you understand? I was already expecting this. The black tide came from beyond the sky. And everything else is no exception.
Fate is a strange thing. No matter how the details of history change, the Anaxa I know always remains as harsh as ever.
If the other Anaxagoras actually worshipped the gods, I'd make sure to find a way to break the cycles and crush them in their cradles. Too bad. Now only you have the ability to do that.
What's that supposed to mean? You're willing to help?
Of course. The core flames were meant to save the world. And in my opinion, the noble titans have no reason to refuse. Besides, according to you, before stepping into these endless cycles, you were my pupil.
I've already heard the same thing countless times.
Enough chit-chat. Let's go. If we run into any other scholars, leave them to me. We've all made preparations for total annihilation. Never thought someone would step in to help.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
You've been to the Luminary Throne before, haven't you?
If you're talking about in past cycles.
You're already much luckier than the other students. Hold up. Keep your wits about you. Someone's watching us.
Pretty boy, your eyesight's better than I thought. As for that false god who's been turning the world upside down, it's you, isn't it, white hair?
You sure do love stealing the spotlight. In the name of the Seven Sages, I demand that you immediately step away from the Luminary Throne. This is the sacred ground of reason, and no one may desecrate it. Take my words back to Aglaya. I won't say the same thing twice, Catgirl.
Oh my! You won't even call me the demigod of trickery. That is just heartbreaking. I have some words for you, too. First, as one of the most heretical blasphemers in the world, you have no right to lecture me. Second, this is none of your business, Grove Boy. Step aside. I don't want anyone getting hurt.
Here we go. Again.
Core Flame thieves. You really think you can scare off a sage of the Grove with nothing but empty threats?
This gloomy little brat's got a sharp tongue. Ooh, not bad, not bad. I kinda like you. As a return favor, please
this core flame right here. Aw, don't cry now!
That was close. I'm out of here.
They're exactly like all the past ones I've known. Cunning. And yet so naive.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Of course. When I first set out on the flame chase journey, Lady Treby never managed to teach me Orynyx's miracle. But along the way, I learned a thing or two.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
The Venerationists' foolish inventions finally come in handy.
How is this possible?
You've arrived, Zacharias. Always so punctual.
What? Do you know who I am?
I'm running out of patience. So I'm not going to waste words. Listen up, spirit thief. Hand over the core flame, and let's pretend we never clashed. This way, you and this world can still be saved.
Save? You sing better than any bard. If you ask me, you're the greatest disaster Emporius has ever known. No matter how strong you are, you're still just a mortal body. Carrying 12 core flames? Don't make me laugh. You'll just get consumed by the divine flames and drag this world down with you.
134.
What?
This is the 134th cycle I've lived through. And the number of core flames I carry is
1,596.
Yes.
1,000 core flames and just a single Chrysos heir. How is that even possible?
I've come this far. And that's proof enough.
But someday you will burn to the ground.
Of course. The divine flames will eventually consume my eyes and blind me. But before that, they could still forge and sharpen Dawnmaker. Now when I cut open your stomach, you won't feel a thing.
You...
This is the final warning.
Fine. Assume this world holds 100 million possibilities. And no matter how one looks at it, 99,999,999 of them all point to outcomes of certain destruction. Even so, I'll use my divine power, despised by the people of this world, to achieve that 1 in 100 million possibility.
Bartolos!
Brett, if you've got the guts, you'll have to first step over my dead